Hello guys, welcome back to the JOJO series, and in this video we are going to be making beatdowns. So first, prepare your animations. Here I have my animations. For the victim, the stand, the player, and the camera. I'll teach you how to make the camera later. But first, when you animate your stand, when you want to animate your beatdown, you need to make sure the stand is at the original position, which is the offset of the player, 2, -1, -2. You increment 2, -1, -2 with the original position of the player. Let me copy this and paste this inside of the star platinum. Now it's 2 -1 -2, right? So let's do 2, which is 9, -1, which is 2, -2, which is 18. But if that doesn't work, we're going to be doing the reverse, which is -2, which is 5, 1, which is 4, and 14. There we go. If this doesn't work, do the reverse. Okay, so I'm going to be using moon animator for it to be easier to animate multiple characters, and make sure you calculate the distance between your player and the victim in your animation, because we're going to be using that later. Okay, here's my animation. Now we're going to be making the camera. For the camera, I originally wanted to use twins, but it's so complicated and difficult to replicate, difficult to make cutscenes with, and it's also difficult to make it customizable. I decided to use a rig for the camera as the animation. Let me do root part, because we're going to be making this a rig. Let's make this black so we can tell, and let's add in a decal so we can see the front. Let's do circle. Let's add in this to the camera part. I'll make it red. Now the root part, transparency will be 0.5. There we go. We're going to group this camera rig, name this camera rig, add in a motor 6D so you can move this around. You can move this around. This will be the camera, like this. The part 0 will be the root part, and the part 1 will be the camera part. Now in the script, we are going to be welding the root part to the player root part, the weld. Okay, part 0 will be your player, and part 1 will be your root part, the camera root part I meant. There we go. As you can see, the camera part doesn't follow even though we added the motor 60. So to fix that, we'll just run the game and stop the game again. Right, and as you can see, it teleported to my player. Now let's go to moon animator. But first we need to add in an animation controller so we can actually animate this rig. Let's go to your animation, add in the camera part. You don't have to use one animator, by the way. You can use the default animation plugin, but you can't animate all these characters at the same time. There's no feature for that. So you need to use moon animator to animate them all at the same time. But you can just animate them one by one with the normal plugin. Oh, I have to set the primary part. Set the primary part to root part. Let's add in the camera part again, camera rig. Okay, now we can actually move this around. Let me turn this on. There we go. Now we can move this around like an actual camera. Can move this around right here, and then in this keyframe it'll go maybe right here, but I already have an animation for this. It goes right here. Just mess around with the cameras and stuff. Maybe like this, I don't know. Now we add in the camera so we can tell from the camera's point of view. Now we're going to be adding an attach to part, so we can attach it to this camera part. Let me turn this on and press 7 on the camera. Press the camera part and set. Now we can actually see from the camera's point of view. But I actually have an animation ready for the camera, so let me import it. Here's my camera. I'll put this in camera rig, and there we go. What? Hold on. Oh, it's because in my previous file it's called camera, not camera part. So you can name this whatever you want, just make sure it's always the same, you don't change it. Now we can open Moon Animator. It should work now. Let's add in this. File, import. Let's add in the camera. Attach part. Alright, now it looks like this. Looks pretty cool. Now once you've got your animation ready, put it inside a folder and name them whatever you want and put them inside of replicated storage, because we're going to be using the camera animation on the client. So let's make a folder or something. Start animations. Start planning. Put it here, and maybe you want to put every single of your stand animations right here, but I'll do that later. Right, now let's make a module. I'm going to be making it similar to cooldown handler and twin service v2, where you need to require it on both the client and server, because there's this camera movement and I want it to make it easier to reuse, you know. Beatdown handler. Alright, let's get run service, because we're going to be using this a lot. Run service. Let's make the variables. Let's do twin service as well. Going to be requiring a cooldown handler. And that's all for now. I'll do function modulo beatdown. So what I want to do is make this function usable for whenever you found the player. So when you use the hitbox and you've detected a player, you call this function and put in the player parameter inside of this function, and it runs the animations and stuff. Now here's a few parameters: character 1, character 2, animation table, damage time. Let's do that for now. What we expect in animation table is, so this is the default value, right? So the format of animation table is there's going to be 3 index: character 1 animation, let's do nil or something, character 2, and stand, and camera. So these 3 are required, but the camera isn't required. And if the camera exists, then it's going to fire the client. Let's make a new remote event. Camera event. Script wait for child camera event. And damage time is going to be like this. Here is the format. Time is an index with a table, and damage. So this is in seconds. So let's say the times are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the damage are 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So this needs to have the same amount of values, the same amount of items. So what this does is it'll wait 1 second to do 10 damage, it'll wait 2 seconds to do 10 damage, or let's do 8. So I'm doing this because there's multiple punches in the beatdown, as you can see, and let's say you want to do different timing and different damages. So I can just do a rate like in the barrage handler. I can just add in a rate like 0.1 seconds, but in this it needs to be more customizable, so that's why I'm going to be making a table for time and damage. And let's make a function for that. Apply damage. I forgot to add in a duration parameter. Alright, we're going to be getting the root part of both character 1 and character 2. Let's get the humanoid first. Humanoid 1. So character 1 is the attacker and character 2 is the victim. We are basically finding the humanoid and the root part. It's nothing too crazy. Alright, so we're going to be using this to anchor both root part 1 and root part 2. And we'll also need a stun handler I don't even need a cooldown handler. Why am I adding this here? Dot modules, dot hit module, dot stun handler. And we'll do hit handler or something, hit module require for the damage application. Alright, we're going to be stunning the humanoid 2. Stun handler, dot stun humanoid 2, and the duration. We'll do task.delay duration. We're going to unanchor them. Oh yeah, we'll also need a victim position. So where the victim will be teleported. So let's say the default value is let's put this here though. So let's say the default value is for part 1. Let's see frame times cframe dot new 003 something. We need the enemy, the victim, to be facing us. So we'll do cframe dot look at. This is the origin, this is where it's looking at. So the origin will be rp1 dot position plus rb1.cframe.look vector times 3, so 3 studs in front of root part 1 and look at root part 1. There we go. rp2 will be positioned right here. Position.cframe, actually .cframe equals victim position. This is the default value, by the way. You can change this in this parameter. Let's put this below here. Alright, now let's load the animations. Beat down player will be humanoid 1, load animation table, character 1. Let's do the same. Beat down victim. Let's put this above the animations. I don't know. Character 2. Let's do the same thing for stand. But you don't have the animation controller for the stand. So let's make a new variable for stand. Stand 1 as in stand for character 1. Stand animator. Animation controller. Stand weld. Stand.weld. Because we're going to be disabling the weld. Don't forget to add in the strings, by the way. So we anchor both the players, we stun the player 2, and we need to disable the weld of the stand. You know why? Because when it's welded, it cannot be animated because it's stuck in place. So stand weld dot enabled. It's called enabled weld. Let me see. It's enabled. It's false. Stand root part. Let's add in stand root part. Stand root particles. Let's just do stand. Stand 1 is confusing because we're going to be using only one stand in the script. Stand dot primary part. Stand dot root part equals dot anchored equals true. Do the same here. True and false. Do stand root part C frame equals, so the default position is rp1.c frame times c frame dot new. It's not 2 minus 1 minus 2, but it's inverted, I think. But I think it's inverted, so it's minus 2 1 2. It's the opposite of this, I think. Okay, let's just play the animation. If animation table camera, if there's a camera animation, then we're going to fire the remote. So you can choose if you want to add in cinematics or not. Okay, we'll have to get the players as well. Yeah. Equals game.players, get player from character 1. Player 1, then and the animation table camera, it's basically the same as this, but I want it to be shorter, I want it to be one line, so I'll do that. There we go. We need to find the character. We need to add in the character parameter. We also need damage time. Let's put damage time right here. This is the default value. You can change this to whatever you want. For index time, let's do t in pairs damage time dot time. So it loops through all the time, and we'll do task dot wait the time, and we'll do the hit module dot hit. The part will be nil. The enemy humanoid will be character dot find first. Child of class humanoid. Just make a variable. Actually, you don't need to. Take damage time, the damage, and the index, which is I. Let me see if the part is necessary. Hold on, let's go to hit module. Let's add in default values. Equals stun duration 0. Equals stun duration or 0, so there's no errors. Then KB knockback. It's knockback then, because I'm not going to be adding in knockback in the beatdown. So there we go. We just need to apply damage. Let's make a new stand skill in start planning. Let's do function module dot, the keybind will be C, by the way. Let's do character. Let's copy the heavy punch thing. Let's copy all this. Let's copy all this. Because I'm not making some new script. We're not going to be using hit effects. We're not going to be using this. I'll do cooldown. The cooldown will be 2 seconds because I want to spam this. This will be called beatdown. Beatdown. We need to require the beatdown handler. So let's require the beatdown handler. Require game dot replica storage dot modules dot beatdown handler. Let's do beatdown handler dot beatdown the character 1 or character dot parent, and then what's next? The victim position nil, because I'm going to be using this default position. You don't have to, you can put in anything you want. And then what's next? the animation table. The animation table will be character1 game.replicate storage dot stand animations dot start random dot beatdown animations dot beatdown player. Let me copy paste this a few times. Stand camera then what's next? The damage time. Let me find out real quick. So I do a few punches in beatdown. The first punch is in frame 51 divided by 60. I don't know what's that. Let me do all the math real quick. There we go. Oh yeah, I want this to wait at the same time, by the way, not we wait 0.83 seconds and then we wait 0.83 seconds. I want it to wait all at the same time. We wait this. What? Button. Oh. There we go. So we'll add in task.spawn inside of here. So it waits all at the same time. And then it's the duration. Let me see. So this is to 140 frames. 140 divided by 60. So duration is 2.3 seconds. Alright. There we go. Alright, let's see if this works. Oh yeah, let me fix up this real quick. I don't have C in the combat input. So let me go to starter player, starter character scripts, inputs. Okay, this is really bad. This is really messy. So that's why I'm going to be making a table for all these inputs. Local key codes. Let me paste all the key codes. E, it's Z, it's TR, R, H, F, and let's add in C. And I will do user input type. So we're going to be indexing this, and the value will be Q will be the thing that fires the server. I'll just copy and paste this again, honestly. That's E, that's C, that's T, R, H, F, T, R, H, F, and then C. User input type mouseband 1, M1, E, Z, T, R, H, F, C. If we can index key code instead of key code stable, then we'll fire the Roman event. Key code. And the parameter, what's the parameters again? I forgot. Let's add in true. Let's add in true for all these. Why not? There we go. Let's see if this works. I bet I'll get a ton of errors, but that's okay. That's all part of the process. Okay, so the keys work. Let's press C. Alright, error. What's this? Look at vector 3 expected. I see. So it's a IRP1 dot position, right? Is it dot position or dot orientation? Let's do dot position. Or is it the orientation? I forgot actually. If this doesn't work, then it's orientation. Oh, did I mess up the animation? Oh, it's supposed to be humanoid too. Alright, the animations work. Nice. All we need is the camera now. The damage also works, as you can see. For the block checks, you can just do that in the hit detection and the hitbox stuff. Oh yeah, we want auto retard to be off, so we can't move like this inside of the animation. It ruins the effect. So RP1 dot auto rotate, or is it humanoid? Let's try this again. Right, we can't rotate. Nice. Now it's time for us to do the cameras. First, if you want to add in the black bars to make this more cinematic, you can do that by, let's say we add in a screen GUI here. We'll name this cinematic black bar or something like that. Black bar. Up. Set this to black. One zero 1 0. Set the size to 0. Border size I meant. And this will be 0.5. Actually no, 0.1. Let's do the same thing for down. This position will be 1. Actually no, 0.9. Right, so this default position will be -1. -1. This will be 1. Huh? Oh, it's the size. Did I mess up the size? Yeah, it's supposed to be position. So this will be -1. This will be 1. There we go. Now in beatdown handler, we can do something like this. If rs is client, then player equals game.players.localPlayer, local player GUI equals player.player GUI, local black cinematic GUI or something like that equals player GUI dot black bar. Remote dot on client event connect function. So here's the parameters we sent. It's the camera animation and the player one. Actually, we should send the root part 1 because that's where the camera is positioned, because that's where the main position of the camera is, the root part 1. Alright, so root part 1 and the camera animation. Local camera rig equals let's make character 1, the part 1 the parent, character 1 find first child camera rig. Let me add in the camera rig instead of replica storage. There we go. If not camera rig, then camera rig equals game.replica storage.camera rig clone camera rig. Let's make a weld too. The part 0 will be the root part 1. Camera rig, the part 1 will be camera rig dot root part. Now parent camera rig dot parent is character 1. And we're not going to be destroying the camera rig, by the way, because it needs, when we destroy the camera rig, it needs to reload every single time we create the camera rig. But if we don't destroy the camera rig, it just stays there. It will actually save the animation, so it doesn't have to load it anymore, so you can just play it, so there's no delay on the animation. So usually when you play the animation the first time, it'll have a delay because it's trying to load the animation. So if we already have the camera rig created and already loaded the animation, then the animation will play immediately. So let me set the transparency to 1. So let's make a variable called camera, maybe here. Workspace.current camera, it's the current player camera. Let's make a camera part variable. Camera rig dot camera part dot camera, and we're going to set the camera focus to camera part, so that camera part is different, so that the area around camera part is more detailed. And the camera type will be fixed, so it doesn't move. The camera subject is basically the subject. It anchors the camera to that position. Will be the camera part. Now we need to set the C frame of the camera, so we'll do local connection right here. We'll do connection equals run service dot render stepped. It's similar to heartbeat, but heartbeat fires every single frame after the physics simulation has completed, but with the render stepped, it fires every frame prior to the frame being rendered. So yeah, we'll do connect function. We'll set the camera dot C frame equals camera part dot C frame. If you don't add this, then the camera will just be at the camera part C frame only for one frame, but we need to do it for every single frame because the camera is moving around, right? Let's do task.delay. Let's add in the duration parameter here. We put in the duration. We put in the duration. task delay duration function, and we will set the camera type back to custom. So this is the default. Camera subject, the humanoid. Is there a humanoid? Well, no. Let's do character equals player.character. So this is our character, not the character one. Humanoid equals character child humanoid of class. So let's see your player 2, and if you use the character 1's humanoid, then the camera will just be focusing on the attacker, not you. Camera humanoid and camera.focus character.head. That's all. And let's play the animation. So it's camera rig, camera animator, camera rig.animator, the animation controller, local camera, okay, and then we play the animation. We play this and let's see if this works. It doesn't work. Let me print. Oh, it's on client event. My bad. Print on client. Print beatdown handler has been required by client. So yeah, we need to require this on the client, just like the other modules. Game.replicate storage.modules.beatdown handler. Let's go. Oh, there's an error. Modules. Okay, so because let's say we require this on the client and this is the server storage, the client doesn't have access to server storage. So that's why this is an error. As you can see, there's client. So let's just remove this and we'll do something like this. Else if rs is server, then get module equals require game get module, stuff like that. We'll do the same thing here. Stun handler equals this. More errors. Black bar is not, so let's do wait for child then. Right, let's see if this works. As you can see, the camera doesn't animate. What? C frame expected cut instance. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we need to set the field of view to 70. Oh, we haven't disconnected it. Yeah, I haven't disconnected the connection. Oh yeah, I forgot to remove this build. As you can see, the animation doesn't play immediately. So let me try this again. Alright. So when I first played it, it went like this. That's because the animation hasn't fully loaded yet. But now that it's fully loaded, it works properly. That's why you don't remove the animation. I mean, you don't remove the camera. Let me remove this circle. And now we can just add in the black bars. It's pretty simple. Let's do something like this. TS create up equals cinematic GUI dot up. Wait for child up. Down equals cinematic GUI. Wait for child down. Tween info will be 0.1. 24.9.1 seconds. The property table will be udim2.new. Position equals udim2.new. So down will be what? 0, 0. It's 0.9, I think. Yeah, it's 0.9. And up will be 0. This will be 1, and this will be -1. Sit here. Ignore GLAN set. Yeah, we need to ignore GLAN set. Alright, this looks nice. Yeah, sometimes the position bugs, but there's nothing you can do about it, honestly. Or you can just do something like this. We add in the RP1. We add in the RP1.c frame. This is a saved C frame. So because the C frame in the server and in the client is different, so let me change the C frame here. Save C frame. Everyone, the C frame equals saved C frame. Let's see if that solves the problem. If that doesn't solve the problem, I don't know what will. It is what it is, I guess. Let's move around while doing this. Right, it solved the problem, I think. Let's try jumping and doing stuff. Yeah, there's still a bit of a bug, but there's nothing you can do about it. This works better though. When I'm moving, it still plays the animation correctly. Alright, this is it for this video. Thank you, and I will see you next time.